the a-hole for refusing to let my ex have Father's Day with our kids so her husband can celebrate with them? Ex and I divorced 11 years ago. We have two teens ages 14 and 13. Kids live primarily with me, because when she left, it was to be with her current husband who lived in another town. I remained primary custodian because I wasn't the moving parent, she was, which was causing the upheaval. Anyway, they see the kids every other weekend, extended periods during summer, and for every other holiday. Ex and her husband have 3 kids together. Ex has always asked that we alternate Father's Day, since the kids have known him most of their lives and because they have siblings through him, it is important to celebrate the day as a family sometimes. I always said no, because they are my kids and I want to see them Father's Day. This year seems to be the year pissing them off most, because the kids are choosing to not spend extended period of the summer with them, and she thinks it's more important than ever for them to have that family time, for those memories to be made with their family. She and her husband have been texting me all morning with their annoyance at my decision. I even had her family on my case about it. It's weighed me down enough, and I have been called an a-hole enough that I have to ask, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. You're their father, and your ex thinks you're somehow the a-hole for wanting to spend Father's Day with your own children? 100% not the a-hole. Yeah, because her husband has been a good father figure in their lives, and he is the father of their siblings. I don't fully believe it, but the doubt is there because this has been a constant in my year for about 2 months now. Sounds like she's putting her husband before her kids. Rude. She already did that when she abandoned them for him 11 years ago. Not a hole. Hell, most paperwork nowadays already has it pre-printed that the kids will spend Father's Day with their father and Mother's Day with their mother. Remind them that Father's Day is not a family holiday. It's about celebrating their father. And since he's not their father, they won't be spending it with them. If this pisses her off, so be it. Her pissiness is not your problem. Came here to say exactly this. It's standard for obvious reasons. OP, Father's Day is your holiday. Mother's Day is hers. Full stop. Not the hole. Info. What do the kids want? If they're choosing not to spend the summer with mom and stepdad, I think we can guess what they want. Info. According to the custody agreement, where are they supposed to be this day? With me. Same as she gets Mother's Day regardless of whether it's her actual weekend or not. Info. Do your kids see their stepfather as a father that they want to celebrate Father's Day with? Have you asked if they want to spend a day with him? In general, I would say not today, Hall, since you are their biological father. With the caveat that if your kids want to spend the day with him, that should be respected, especially as they are getting older. From your post, it kind of sounds like your ex and her husband want to play perfect family, and you are under no obligation to help them do so. However, your kids are at an age where their opinions/wants, as they apply to these things, should take priority regardless of your personal opinion, assuming no abuse/neglect/safety issues/etc., and that it isn't going to create issues with legal custody type stuff. Otherwise, they may start to resent you. They don't see him as a father figure at all. He technically is, in that he has been in their lives since they were very young, and he has been acting as a paternal figure to them while they are there. But the kids do not consider him their father figure, and that actually became a point of contention a couple of years ago, because they went to an event with them the weekend before Father's Day a couple of years ago, and they made me something and not him. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my adult daughter the truth about why I wasn't in her life? Recently, I got back in contact with my adult daughter, Maddie, after having had nothing to do with her since her birth. She's 25 now, but honestly, I wasn't around from her birth all the way through when her mother died a couple years ago. Now, I know I'm not a perfect person here. I've done some bad things, but in this case, I don't think I was the bad guy. Maddie's mother and I dated for about a year after I graduated high school in '95, while I was just in college. I'll be honest, her mother was a rebound girl. Never thought it would be a long-term relationship or anything. We became close and did couple things, but I always made certain to use protection. I didn't want kids at that stage in my life, and thought I'd made it clear to Maddie's mother. After coming back from family vacation one summer, I'm surprised to find that her apartment was empty, and she's dropped off the face of the earth. Poof, gone. Over the past years, I often wondered what happened, but any attempts at searching for Maddie's mother failed. A couple months ago, I got a visitor out of the blue, and after some awkward moments, Maddie introduced herself as my daughter. She wanted to know her dad, but at the same time, I felt this hostility there. She was angry, rightly so, at me for not being in her life, and I got the impression this was I can say I met the bastard type of thing. She told me how her mother had died a couple years prior, only after finally telling her my full name and to go looking for me. It had taken her that long to finally track me down. She wanted to know everything I'd been doing to that point, while I still found it hard to believe. Eventually, she asked why I had never been in her life, and I told her 2 reasons. 1, I didn't know you existed, and 2, your mom completely vanished on me. She didn't believe this, and scoffed, but telling her my own story what happened seemed to mesh up with some things her own mom had told her. This has created a problem. Maddie practically hates her mother for what she did. She accepts that I didn't even know she existed, and couldn't find her, so she can't fault me for that. However, she worshipped her mom. And now she's finding out that not only did her mom lie to her about the reason I wasn't around, but now she even questions about her own birth. Was it some stunt by her mother to force me to stay around? We talk from time to time, but her mom has gone from being respected to that lying witch, among other things. I genuinely feel bad about this, and wonder if I was the a-hole for telling the truth and destroying whatever memories Maddie had about her mother. So am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She deserved the truth. But I don't know why she thinks her mom got pregnant to keep you around if she ghosted you like that without ever telling you. It sounds a lot more like mom wanted a baby and didn't really want dad in the picture. Or else got pregnant by accident and left because she didn't want to deal with co-parenting. Or maybe she thought she was respecting the OP not wanting kids yet and thought she was doing him a favor taking off and not involving him in the baby's life. Info. It doesn't make sense that this was a stunt to get you to stick around, as she didn't tell you she was pregnant. Is there a reason that you both rejected the most obvious answer? Your ex took you at your word that you didn't want a kid, accidentally got pregnant, was unwilling to have a termination or give the baby up, and decided to move on so you wouldn't have to be involved? I think this is not great behavior, but it's hardly the act of a monster. More like a confused young woman who wants her baby without dragging you into fatherhood. I had more information in the first post of this, but it exceeded the 3,000 character limit, so I fully expected the info questions. To answer your question, I had made it clear when we started dating that I was hurting. I'd experienced a very bad breakup with my high school sweetheart, and though we talked about it, I specifically told her that I felt that I wasn't ready, being just 19, yes, I failed 8th grade, to have kids. She would sometimes joke that, well, she wanted a child, but respected my feelings on the matter. We'd taken a break around the time my family and I went on vacation, and during that time, I'd largely grown over the relationship. Sure, it was nice and all, but after some serious soul-searching, I'd realized that I didn't love her, and I just loved the things we did together, both physical and otherwise. Today, I suppose you'd call her an FWB, but at the time I didn't know that term, being rather innocent about many things. Also, I don't know if this is worth noting, but she was 35. So yeah, I was a young guy with an older woman, and was loving most every minute of it. The fact that she was 35 to you're 19 really should have been in your original post. Also, please do not take me wrong, but have you had a paternity test just to make sure? I have, and it's been confirmed. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my sister stay with me after how she's treated my girlfriend? My girlfriend, 30 female, is currently 4.5 months pregnant, and we're living together. My ex-wife, 32 female, and I, 30 male, just barely finalized our divorce. It was a pretty messy ending. She had an affair and we separated. Around that time, I spent more time with a close friend of mine, now my girlfriend, who I've known for years. Months later, I realized we had feelings and pursued a relationship. When I filed for divorce, my ex spun the story and flipped it on me. No one in my family believed her, except for my sister, 28 female. And that was due to them being best friends. Throughout the whole ordeal, my sister took my ex's side, wouldn't stop bothering me about working things out with my ex since she's given me a chance after what I did to her. She was even more vicious to my girlfriend for absolutely no reason. Attacking her on social media, calling her a homewrecker. Myself and my family had to talk to her many times and I cut contact for a while. Then when we found out she was pregnant, my sister's first reaction was, "Congrats on your affair, baby." She texted that to me from a different number because I have her blocked and knew it was her. A week ago, my mom told me my sister wanted to speak to me. She apologized for everything, admitted she was completely immature, and coming from a place of anger towards me because she's been with my ex as a support, has been her shoulder to cry on, so she felt protective of her. During the same discussion, my sister mentioned needing some place to stay, so not only was she hoping we could make amends, but also wanted to know if it was possible to stay at our place. Suddenly, her apology didn't seem too sincere to me, and I said no, especially not with how she treated my girlfriend. My mom is urging me to do this because my sister needs some place to stay, and it could be a way for her and my girlfriend to get to know each other better. And that I can't blame my sister for her reaction when she was just believing my ex's lies. My sister is begging me to help her out, and promises she'll be courteous to my girlfriend. My girlfriend thinks if I trust my sister, then she'll go along with what I think is best. But honestly, I don't, and wouldn't want to put my girlfriend in that position. Since I've doubled down on my decision, everyone thinks I'm being too hard on her for believing someone else's lies and now refusing to help her. I feel like suddenly I'm the only one sane here since everyone seems to be bothered by this, especially my sister who won't let it go. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. She should have believed her brother over some witch that cheated on you. Like you, I wouldn't put, if I was a guy, my pregnant girlfriend in that situation. Stress can be bad for a baby. That's my concern. Exactly. I tell her you're willing to start talking with her again, but not the moving in portion. If she doesn't accept that, then you do know she was only apologizing to get a place to stay. Info. And she can't stay with your mom because... My mom's a couple-hour drive away. Her job is here. But also, she wants us to make amends, so that's a big reason why she's pushing it. Not Dayhal. Tell your family that this rift between you and your sister didn't happen overnight, and it won't be repaired overnight. Someone posted about a public apology in social media. I think that is a great starting point. And it will take time and baby steps for her to prove herself to you and your girlfriend. I don't think that's fair to you or your girlfriend to ask you to have your sister move in, no matter how temporary it's supposed to be. This is your first baby, a new experience, and you and your girlfriend should be able to experience it in any way you see fit. Wait till her libido goes into overdrive. And you can't do that with your sister in your back pocket. Good luck, and congratulations. Didn't think about a public apology. Feel that's something necessary regardless of whether or not that's a start to her making amends for what she did to my girlfriend. Forgiveness will be up to my girlfriend since she was the one mostly out through the ringer. I agree though. This is a time for us to spend together and grow as a family without any house guests. Oh, believe me, I've noticed. And thank you. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my kid's stepmother she doesn't get to make rules for my home in front of my former in-laws? I share 2 sons, 11 male and 7 male, with my ex. He left me for his wife 3 years ago. They got married right after the divorce. I mention this because there are some tensions present due to this and also due to the fact my former in-laws and I got along so well and have not been welcoming towards ex's new wife. So anyway, ex and his wife put the boys in football and church thing on their time. Ex actually signed them up for all the time, but neither boy likes those activities. Ex says in his house they must do them. I say fine, but they won't do them with me. Ex's wife is the one with the biggest issue with my decision. She is very religious and believes boys should play sports and attend church. About a week ago, my oldest was picking up a certificate from one of his chosen extracurriculars, and me, ex, and his wife were there while ex's parents and sister were outside waiting to celebrate. Ex's wife starts telling the boys that they need to do the church thing that Saturday afternoon whether they like it or not, which was my parenting time, not ex's, and that they need to sign up for some other stuff for football which also fell in my parenting time. When we go outside, without the boys, they were with ex, I told her she did not get to make rules or demands in my home, and she better not do that again the way she did. Ex's family backs me up and says she's not their parent, etc. She gets super pissed at me for doing that around them, and then when my ex finds out, she tells me I'm a nahal and should have waited and discussed it after. I told him I only care about the boys not hearing, and that he needs to nip the crap in the bud if he doesn't want stuff like that to happen again. She told me I made it even harder for their family to get along now and I should be ashamed. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's your home and something the kids don't even want to do. Like, I could understand if she was trying to get you to take them to a doctor's appointment or something, but just to some BS that only she gives a crap about? Nah, she can stuff it. Plus, she did it in front of the in-laws, so it should be dealt with in the same manner. She needs to butt the hell out of parenting those kids. She's not a parent and has zero rights in this matter. Not they Hall. They obviously don't have any boundaries if they were okay with cheating and starting marriage over your misery. It's not surprising that she feels entitled to overstep your parenting as well. I'm just wondering, what kind of a religious person is okay with stealing another woman's husband though? The kind who believes she saved him from the big bad atheist who is only going to damn him when he dies. And I know this because she has tried to interfere when X asked me to get the boys baptized, and I said no, because I don't consent to that stuff. She is very religious and believes boys should play sports and attend church. I don't care. She's not their mother. Football is dangerous, and I don't agree with religious training of children. I'd probably already be in court dealing with this. How dare she order your kids around, much less in front of you? Edited to add, Perpy, it is American football which was the sport I'm referencing. X's family backs me up and say she's not their parent, etc. They're correct. They have every right to not like a woman that targeted a married man, per your comments.
A-hole for refusing to help my sister pay for her kids' medical bills because of what happened when I needed help? Okay, so this is messy as heck, but I need to get it out of my head. My sister, 28 female, and I, 26 female, aren't super close. And honestly, we've never really been. She's one of those people who's always had her life together. Good job, nice house, all that. Me? Not so much, lol. I've had my ups and downs, and a couple of years ago, it got really bad. 2 years ago, I lost my job. Completely out of the blue, hey, thanks for everything. We're shutting down. Good luck. I was screwed. I had no savings because, life is expensive, and I was living paycheck to paycheck like everyone else I know. My rent was due, and I had no idea how I was going to pay it. I was freaking out. Can't sleep, crying all night. Stomach and nuts level freaking out. I swallowed my pride, already in the toilet at this point, and called my sister. I asked her if she could lend me $1,000 to cover rent. Not give me, lend me. I promised to pay her back as soon as I got a new job. I wasn't asking for a handout, just for help. She didn't even hesitate. She said no, straight up. Flat, cold, no. Then she gave me this whole speech about how she doesn't believe in lending money to family because it always goes wrong and ruins relationships. She said it wasn't personal, just her policy, and then basically hung up on me while I was sobbing. I was devastated. Like, I get it, no one's obligated to help me, but I'm her sister. I wasn't asking for anything crazy. I just needed help to not end up homeless. Anyway, I figured it out. I sold some stuff, borrowed from a couple of friends, and barely scraped by. But that moment, it stuck with me. It changed how I see her. She made it very clear I couldn't rely on her when things got tough. I never said anything to her about it after that, because what's the point? But I never forgot. Fast forward to last week. Her husband got laid off a couple of months ago, and I guess they're struggling, though I didn't know the details because we don't really talk. Then, out of nowhere, she calls me. She never calls, so I immediately knew something was up. She was crying, full on sobbing, and told me they needed $1,500 for my niece's medical bills. It's something about a treatment she needs, and apparently, insurance will reimburse them, but they have to pay up front. She said they're completely out of options and begged me to help. And look, I love my niece. She's 3, adorable, and obviously has done nothing wrong. But I couldn't help but think about the phone call 2 years ago when I was desperate, and she couldn't have cared less. So I told her, sorry, I can't help you. And yeah, I might have been a little petty because I threw her words back at her. I don't believe in lending money to family because it always goes wrong. She lost it. She started screaming at me about how this is different because it's her child, not just stupid rent, her words, and how I'm a selfish witch for holding a grudge over something that happened forever ago. She accused me of punishing an innocent kid just to get back at her, which, okay, maybe that's a little true, but also, where was this whole family helps family thing when I was begging her not to let me lose my apartment? Here's the thing, I can afford to help her. I've worked my butt off these past 2 years to get my life together, and for the first time in forever, I actually have some savings. But why the heck should I? She made it clear that we're not that kind of family. She set the rules, not me. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, I'm supposed to just forget everything and bail her out? I can't. Of course, she immediately ran to my parents, and now they're all over me too. My mom keeps saying, it's not about her, it's about your niece, and that I'm being heartless. My dad told me I'm acting cold and vindictive. They're making me feel like absolute garbage, and honestly, maybe they're right. It's not my niece's fault her parents are struggling, but it's not my fault either. And if I cave now, I know my sister will just think she can treat me however she wants, and I'll still come running when she needs me. So yeah, I feel horrible, but also I feel like she kind of had this coming. Am I being a total a-hole here? Or is it fair not to help her after everything? I can't tell if I'm justified or just being petty. Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Sounds like your parents are saying they can give her the money, doesn't it? They can't. My dad's on disability and my mom's still paying off their mortgage. They'd probably dip into their retirement to help, which is why they're pressuring me instead. So, they pay and get reimbursed by sister. What's the issue? It's about niece after all. Because no one will get reimbursed. The whole insurance is a straight up lie. She can contact the hospital to work out a payment plan. You're following the golden rule of treat others how they treated you. Can't blame you for sticking to it. Hashtag petty but justified. 100% this. She didn't have your back when you needed it, so why should you go out of your way for her now? You're not being petty. You're just holding her accountable for her past actions. Hashtag petty but justified all day long. Mini update. Sorry, there's a lot to read, but I want to say I'm reading all the replies. I see there are more options than I previously thought. I'm considering helping her get the money in some other way, like paying the healthcare providers directly or getting legal support. I'm extremely bitter about what my sister did back then. Frankly, I do feel like teaching her a lesson, but I don't want to be psychopathic and let my niece suffer. Thank you for the honest advice. I'll read all the suggestions and contact directly if needed. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not going above and beyond to make sure my kids see their half-sister and not even making sure they get to see her at Christmas? I, 30 male, have 2 kids, 11 female and 9 male, with my ex, Charlotte, 30 female, and have full physical and legal custody of them. We had our kids young, and while we both struggled, Charlotte struggled more. Within a month of our son's birth, she regretted having the kids and arguably felt the same way about our daughter. She voiced this after our son was born, asking for time to find herself. However, once she was free from parental responsibilities, she didn't want to come back. From the beginning, I had primary custody of our kids. Charlotte was granted a generous visitation schedule for someone who admitted she didn't want to parent. The judge gave her 3 weekends a month and 4 weekday dinners, Wednesdays. However, she never took the Wednesday dinners and rarely took more than 1 weekend a month. Sometimes, months would go by without her seeing them. Despite this, the judge refused to modify her visitation rights because she was their mother. Charlotte's family wanted to maintain a relationship with the kids, and we got along reasonably well, so I allowed it. Things changed when Charlotte met her husband, Rob. Rob wanted to be my kid's dad and even attempted to gain more custody after their wedding, filing for it on their wedding day, thinking the marriage would make a difference. Rob claimed the kids called him dad, which they denied. He accused me of interfering and telling the kids not to call him dad. My kids told me they disliked how he tried to force them to stand near him or walk with him. I documented everything and consulted my lawyer. I even recorded an incident where Rob scolded the kids for not calling him dad in front of me and trying to hug me at an extracurricular event, saying it was their time with the kids. During the custody evaluation, I presented all the evidence. A guardian ad litem was appointed, and eventually, I was granted full physical and legal custody. By then, Rob had lost interest in the kids because they wouldn't accept him as their father. He went from demanding custody to wanting nothing to do with them. Charlotte seemed relieved to no longer have the kids around. Shortly after the court decision, I learned Charlotte was pregnant, and 10 months later, she and Rob had a daughter. My kids have seen their half-sister 3 times in her 4 years. Charlotte has no contact with our kids now, but her family still sees them. Charlotte's parents and siblings recently complained that I don't facilitate a relationship between my kids and their half-sister. They said I should go above and beyond to ensure they grew up loving each other. Apparently, my kids told them they don't care about their half-sister. When asked, my kids said they simply don't feel connected to her. Charlotte's parents proposed hosting Christmas for the entire family and demanded I send my kids so they could spend the holiday with their half-sister. I declined. I told them I wouldn't send my kids away from their active parent on Christmas just to be ignored by their other parent and have a 4-year-old pushed onto them by extended family. Charlotte's parents were unhappy and accused me of being a petty dad who only cares about his bloodline and not the relationship between half-siblings. They said I should do what's best for the kids instead of myself. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You are prioritizing your children's comfort and emotional well-being, which is your primary responsibility as their parent. Relationships between siblings should develop naturally, not be forced, especially in complex family dynamics like yours. Keeping your kids with you on Christmas, a significant family bonding time, is entirely reasonable. Charlotte's family's expectations are not only unfair, but also disregard your children's preferences and feelings. You're doing the right thing by putting their needs first. Not the a-hole. They're being selfish. It's absurd for them to claim it's best for the kids to be away from their safe, involved parents for a major holiday. Your responsibility is to your own children, and if they're not interested in a relationship with their half-sister, you're under no obligation to force it. I think so too. Especially when it would lead to them being ignored by their mom and outright berated by Rob. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not working on forgiving my sister in therapy, even though we're in family therapy? I, 17 female, stopped talking to my sister, 14 female, 8 months ago. We've always had fights, sometimes bad or annoying ones. But 8 months ago, we had a fight where my sister told me she wished I died with our mom so she could have a perfect family, instead of me always reminding everyone that it won't happen. She said it like she truly meant it. She told me I was the worst person she'd ever known, that she didn't understand why I had to be alive, and that I kept her mom from having a child of her own to create the perfect family. When she stopped talking, she realized I wasn't reacting the same way I usually did. In most fights, I'd roll my eyes and walk away. This time, I just told her that I wished I had a real sibling, but now I'm an only child, so we can't all get what we want. She tried to apologize, but I completely shut her out. Our dad heard about the fight and told me she's younger and I need to forgive her. I told him I didn't have to do anything, and I wasn't going to forgive her because I know she meant what she said. He told me I was mean for saying I wished I had a real sibling and claiming I'm an only child when I'm not. I told him I was done, so we're not sisters anymore. He kept trying to talk to me, but I held my ground. Then he and my stepmom decided we all needed family therapy. A lot of stuff came up in the sessions. How our mom died when I was 5 and my sister was almost 3. How I remember mom, but my sister doesn't. When dad remarried, our relationships with his wife, my stepmom, became very different. To my sister, she's mom. To me, she's just dad's wife. My sister has told me many times that mom means nothing to her and she doesn't love her. To me, mom is my only mom. I miss her, I love her, and having my stepmom didn't change that. I talked about how mom's birthday and anniversary are ignored, and how dad and my stepmom made me hide most of mom's things, even though they were already in my room because my stepmom felt disrespected seeing them. My sister said she hates that I won't let us be a family of 4 and that I won't accept my stepmom. She thinks living people deserve love over dead people. She also believes it's unfair that Dad and my stepmom never had kids together because Dad already had us. And she blames me for denying them children. My stepmom said she wished I'd accepted and loved her, but she knows that didn't happen. When we discussed the fight, my sister told the therapist she was angry at me because, during an outing with my stepmom, someone asked her about having her own kids, and it made my stepmom sad. My sister said it made her feel bad for my stepmom, and she hated me for doing that to her. When she saw me, she thought of all the times I showed my stepmom that she's not my mom, and prioritized remembering mom. She wanted me to know how that felt. I interrupted and said I already knew she meant what she said, and I told Dad as much, but he didn't believe me. When the therapist asked me to comment, I said I was done. I explained that we've always fought about my stepmom, and I'm tired of being told I'm wrong for loving my mom instead of the woman my dad married. I also said I'd accepted a long time ago that my sister loved my stepmom and calls her mom, but that doesn't mean I have to. We went over the fight for weeks in therapy and they asked me to do forgiveness exercises. I refused. I said I wasn't going to forgive her and that I meant it when I said I was done. The therapist asked why I was in therapy, and I said I was forced to come, but I never agreed to work on things. My sister started crying and begged me to give her a chance. Dad was furious at me for making her cry and not participating in the therapy's purpose. He called me a disappointment and told me to figure out what I'll do in 2 months because he won't support me terrorizing my sister with my lack of forgiveness. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Tell your father to go F himself. His precious daughter wished you dead, repeatedly doubled down, and said she meant every word she said. Remind him and her that she's dead to you, and you'll be burying her when your dad kicks you out in 2 months. Wish him luck, and tell him he'll only have 1 daughter in 2 months' time. He must lose your number and forget about you, because for all intents and purposes, they'll both be dead to you. His money better be a great comfort to him when he's old and dying. Sometimes, you have to choose yourself, your own peace, and chart your way through life without the emotional blackmail, gaslighting, and financial threats, forcing you to do what they want because they'll cut you off. Not the a-hole. Dad's basically warned me that I won't be his daughter anymore. I won't cry over it, because I think he sucked as a dad to me when it comes to anything about mom, or even my stepmom. Clearly, he wants me to be as easy as my sister has been for him. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take in my estranged father after what they did to my mom and us growing up? I, 29 female, grew up in a household where my mom was both mom and dad. My father left us when I was 10 after cheating on my mom multiple times and eventually moving in with another woman. He never paid child support or helped financially, leaving my mom to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. We struggled a lot. Sometimes we didn't even know if we had food on the table. For years, my father made no effort to be part of my or my siblings' lives. He didn't call or visit or even send a card for birthdays or holidays. It was like we didn't exist to him. As I got older, I built a life without him and stopped expecting anything. Recently, I got a call from my older brother, 33 male, who told me our dad is now broke, sick, and living in poor conditions after his second wife left him. He is asking one of us to take him in and care for him. My brother declined because he has a family of his own and can't take on that responsibility. He suggested I might help since I don't have kids yet. When I said no, my dad called me directly for the first time in years. He said I was being ungrateful and heartless, claiming he's still my father and deserves compassion. He also tried to guilt me by saying he regrets his mistakes and just wants a chance to reconnect. I told him he made his choices years ago and can't expect me to step in now. He called me selfish and accused me of holding on to the past. Some family members agree with him, saying it's my duty to help him because blood is blood. But I can't bring myself to forgive someone who left us to suffer when we needed him the most. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take in my estranged father? Agreed to take him in as soon as he has paid all his mandated back child support, including interest. Hey Dad, you abandoned me 19 years ago and did not bother contacting me. I understand that you regret your mistakes and I empathize with you. Now, please allow me to make the mistake of abandoning you too. If you are around 19 years, we can share stories around our regrets and compare notes. Thanks. Not the a-hole OP. At the end of the day, forgiveness and reconciliation are personal choices. You're not obligated to forgive your father or let him back into your life, especially if it compromises you. Not the a-hole. The only reason he is reaching out to reconnect is because he needs something from you. If he were healthy and still with wife number 2, he would not be contacting you. If the rest of your family is so set on blood is blood, they can help. I wholeheartedly believe that family is what you make it. Relationship dynamics trump sharing DNA. You may not have kids yet, but you have common sense.